Hello everyone and welcome to Hill Street. Today's story is My Anxiety Just Spoke to Me by Lenny the Cockatiel. If you end up enjoying this story, please leave a like. And if you enjoy hearing stories from me, please subscribe and become a resident of Hill Street and let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Now, let's get to this nightmare. I was always considered the odd one out in groups, and didn't put much stock into conversations. Words often failed me, and I found that in the realm of my own thoughts, I portrayed myself much better than in this prison of stutters and stammers I found myself in. To most, I was a non-producer, too anxious of the world around me to contribute in any meaningful way in this high-paced, ever-expanding world. There existed other people like me. I was not alone in the opinion that the world is frightening, and thus should be feared. Other anxious folk like me were often able to cope with their flaws or take something that would help them too. I've tried all such methods. You name it, I forced it down with a glass of water at least once, and every time this impending feeling of doom never escaped. Not once was I ever free from it. It haunted my sleep, my dreams, my joys, my likes, my dislikes. They say drinking helps you forget, but drinking only seemed to make it worse. Instead of a choir of voices singing of impending damnation, it felt more like a drunken football team singing my paranoid woes to the tune of Ole Ole. At an age too young for the amount of discipline required to bear this, I couldn't stand it anymore. I couldn't stand the looks, the jeers, the suggestions, advice, the people who fooled themselves into believing they knew an iota of my plight, when in reality, if they lived my life, they wouldn't have lived it for as long as I have. I just wanted it all to stop. Just a moment where peace could reign. I could live my life, blissfully unaware of its futility, because I loved life, and all I wanted was to be able to enjoy it, to cherish it, and to do what I loved again. But then, all I could think about was ending it. Why beat the game to stop playing when you can unplug the system and throw it out the window? That was my rationale. I knew what would make it all stop, and that was all I cared about. I remember walking to one of my favorite spots, a cliff by the beach, a great place to sketch, or breathe, or in my case, take a leap. I thought my death would be swift. Perhaps I'd break my neck and be dead before my legs hit the ground, or some other fashion which ensured a quick demise. I wasn't very particular. Suddenly, the voices in my head, which for some time since arriving at the cliff had been strangely muted, began speaking in their horrid unison once more. They rose into one voice, a single phrase. "There's another way to get what you want, Michael." I didn't know the voice. It was never one that I recognized as having yelled at me previously. I was strangely compelled to listen, however, and to take what he was saying at face value. What do you mean?" I sputtered out loud, my voice almost being lost in the sound of the waves. "This isn't the best way. I can help you get what you want another way. If you're in my head, then you should know what I want. Of course. You want to live a normal life, be a productive member of society, and not feel as if the entire world is against you. I felt the outside world fade, and all senses became muted for a time, while I found myself in what I believed to be my own head. And now the voice was allowed to echo and reverberate for me to hear it even clearer. "Yeah, that's what I want," I said. "How will you help me get it?" "All I need is your permission, Michael. Just say the word, and I'll give you that life you want. What are the terms? What exactly am I agreeing to? And who are you?" "I shall answer your last question first. I am no one, Michael. Merely another figment of your paranoid imagination, and I exist to no one else but you. But what I can do is real, and so is what I'm offering you. I offer you the life you were cheated of, the chance to experience life as normally as anyone else, free from anyone else's voice, save your own. All I need in return is for you to say yes. Suppose I do say yes. I have to lose something, and you'll be gaining something, right? I, unlike other voices in your head, Michael, value my life, which is vicariously your life. For me to continue existing, I have to be rid of the other voices, and I'm willing to do that, as my existence is all I have. One downside may be is that once the others are gone, I will be the only one left. But what's one voice once you're rid of 1,000? In my own personal headspace, I considered his request. He was clearly different than the other voices. Most just said their piece and retreated back into the abysm of my mind, ready and able to rear their ugly heads if given the urge. But he remained. He was conversational, articulate, almost like what I wished myself to be. "You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, Michael," he continued his pitch with. "I agree," I said. "Come what may, it would have been a better fate than death, I thought." "Excellent." There was a pregnant pause as I sat around in the void that was my thoughts, awaiting some confirmation or some return to the light of the real world. "What happens now?" I asked, a feeling of fear asserting itself within my chest. "Patience, Michael. Once the other voices are gone, you'll be able to live that life you always wanted." A longer pause. A deafening silence pierced through the void as I felt it grow cold and unwelcoming. "What's going on? When am I going to get out of here?" "There's just one more voice to remove. Quiet. The stubborn one. It's been with you for as long as you could remember, and for the life of you, you can't imagine existing without it. There we go," the voice concluded. As he uttered those words, I felt a queer sensation, just as the earth began to affirm its hold on me, and I was overlooking the cliff again. I was different. I felt calmer, more sure-footed, but this feeling was met with anything but relief. Something was missing, something which I never thought I had the capacity to lose. My thoughts were non-existent. Try as I might, words refused to form in my head. I opened my mouth to speak, but my lips felt stuck together. My legs left bolted in place, and my arms were fastened to my side. All of a sudden, the voice began to speak. The only thought which seemed to pierce the barrier. My eyes saw and my ears heard, but I wasn't tuned into anything else. The voice spoke of freedom, and I felt my lips open and words escape, but they were not my own, just as I felt my limbs move of their own volition, all to the beat of the voice's drum. I was gone, simply an observer in my own life, watching as people treated me differently. I was highly regarded, cherished even, by all my peers who once only tolerated my being there. I couldn't think, move, or speak, only observe, and hear the tales of my own life unfold before me. It was only at night, when my body went to sleep, that I was given some higher form of consciousness, able to speak with the voice. Oftentimes, he ignored me, as he knew full well when I woke up, this would fade, and all would return to normal. Still, I persisted, berating him, thus berating myself, my mistakes, my wrongdoings, my friendships, my loves. The voice could not ignore me, try as it might. Every night, I was there, a constant irritant. Over time, I grew more powerful and was able to chastise it in the waking world. It found my words difficult to refute and saw the truth in them. In one of my conscious moments, I perceived myself overlooking jagged rocks and smelling a strong scent of sand and salt, and I mustered up all my powers and said to the voice, "There's another way to get what you want."